Hi, this is Will Arnett. I was on Arrested Development, and I have this wonderful gravelly voice. Hey, you should also listen to podcasts that are done independently, that are done by people that don't do it for the money because they obviously don't get any. I get a lot of money. I'm the it guy right now. I'm like in the Lego movie. I'm like in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'm all over the place. So make sure to watch me on Arrested Development, because that's where I was really good. And to support independent podcasters. Now, here's one of those such things here. God, I don't know how to end this.
This show is clean, pretty much.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 850. Flaxseed. Chokes me. 858. Hello, this is Mike Matthews broadcasting from Cafe Anyway here at the last place on earth located somewhere in Podcaster Valley. Water. Today, it's the fantastic singer-songwriter, guitarist, multi-instrumentalist Sam Cohen, whom I speak with on the segment Into an Interview.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Plus, we hear from Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, and the Brewmaster, as we are wont to do.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
When I was 17, I went to Germany, and I had my childhood friend Derek with me, and in trying to recall our history, that bicycle trip we made into France, to me, it's a mystery. Wow. That was really almost 30
Mike's Daily Podcast.
years ago. The pre-cellphone age. That was crazy. And it was dirty.
Mike's
and brass tacks.
Daily
You had to use your ingenuity.
Podcast.
You couldn't get an answer right away unless you worked for it. How did we not die in France? It was weird. And tea should be renamed the soup of potpourri. But look who just walked in. Hello, Mike. It's Benita, the rodeo queen. How y'all doing?
And it's a disgruntled fiddle player, tell you what.
What?
What the hell?
It was just, I couldn't remember anything from, I was looking at a map of where we went from Germany to France, okay? It was a long bike ride. And I don't remember anything except getting there and realizing that we didn't know French and that we had to find a place to camp because we just had a tent with us. And we borrowed my German uncle's really beat up old bikes. I don't know how we got there. I just remember the whole time Hall & Oates was playing in my head, that song, Out of Touch.
Okay, well, thanks for sharing.
You're welcome. Look who else just walked in.
Hello there, Mike. I make the root beer and the Brewmaster. Oh!
Brewmaster, what kind of root beer did you make? Did you make a flaxseed root beer or a tea soup of potpourri root beer?
Mike, I made both.
Delicious. And you're pouring me a glass right now.
No, that's my glass. It's really good. I'm not sharing.
All right. I think we should really get into the news just right now. The annual airline quality rating report is out. And while domestic carriers had a banner financial year in 2014, they did not sustain that across the board when it came to service. This according to TravelPulse.com. The report found that the airlines are down in all the wrong places and up in all the wrong places. Down on time arrivals. On-time arrivals fell from 81.8% in 2012 to 78.4% in 2013 to 76.2% last year. Up, the rate of lost, stolen, or delayed bags rose 13%. Up, overbooking. That went up 3% from the previous year for the number of passengers bumped from flights. And up, passenger complaints rose a whopping 22% since last year. The airline quality rating was developed and first announced in early 1991 as an objective method for assessing airline quality on combined multiple performance criteria. It's a joint project between it's between two universities. One of them I'm going to be flying into, basically, next month when I go to Daytona Beach to see my mom. Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University and Wichita State University. I'm not going to Wichita, but this current report, not that I would love to go and sing, "The Wichita lineman is online." All right. A lot of the averages are slightly skewed by the fact that the airline quality rating report covers airlines as big as American and as small as Hawaiian. That must make the people at Hawaiian feel really important. You're not as big as American, but you're a Hawaiian. Yeah, but Hawaiians are Americans, so figure that one out. And it also includes a lot of regional airlines. On average, airlines lost one bag for every 275 passengers. The worst is Envoy, which lost one bag for every 110 passengers. Overall, Virgin America led the rankings for the third consecutive year as the best, which I completely disagree with, because stupid Virgin America, they took away my points. I didn't fly for a year, and they just took away my points. No explanation, nothing, just gone. Idiots. Followed by second place was Delta, third place was Hawaiian. Well, there you go. The Hawaiians had the last laugh. The on-time performance fell and complaint rates rose at American, United, Delta, and Southwest. Oh, that's for sure. Southwest had a lot of problems last year. So there we go. And now it's time to take a flight, Benita, you and me. That's great, Mark. Where are we going to go? We're going to fly to the moon. Yeah, Mark, I've been wanting to send her to the moon and calling her Alice and being all honeymooners and stuff. Okay, that's a sign of a good marriage. You know what's also a sign of a good marriage? I was noticing this recently. When you go to a restaurant and you see two people there sitting and eating and they're married and they don't say a word, I never wanted to be that couple. My ex-wife and I became that couple. It was awful. I'll meet her for lunch now, now that we're divorced, and we talk the whole time. But that's because we only see each other once in a while. But man, that's just so depressing to me. Oh, but Mike, it's great. They don't have to talk. They know what each other's thinking. They can finish each other's sentences. Okay, that's just creepy. No, Mark, that's just love. Yeah, and it's also kind of annoying too. Bye. Why don't you talk to me at dinner, Disgruntled Fiddle Player? Oh, DFP, she left with an ultimatum. Yeah, well, you know what? I could use some more vegetables in my life. No, tomatoes are fruits, actually. What? I know, it's bizarre.
Mac, I also made a delicious tomato beer.
And that is not going to be drank by me. So you can stick with your flaxseed, which has healthy components to it with the omega-3s and everything in it, and stick to your tea root beer. But Shelley Schuhart, by the way, last show realized that George Clooney is handsome. No, he's not, Mark. His chin is way too big for his head. Disgruntled Fiddle Player, I think you should go after your wife, Benita the Rodeo Queen, and talk to her over some meal of some sort. Yeah, okay. I'll take her to the Olive Garden. Again. Why on earth would you go... Anyway, what do you think about Olive Garden and tomatoes and tea and taking trips years and years ago and can't remembering anything about them except bizarre, weird things like that you listened to Hall & Oates or Maroon 5 or Taylor Swift or whatever it was you were listening to on your road trip? Or, you remember things in strange ways, memories. And this whole thing about how the airlines are just doing poorly. Email me, mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. We read your comments on the section emails from email. Also email me there if you'd like to be a guest on the show or if you'd like to sponsor the show. mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. And there's the website, mikesdailypodcast.com. You can listen to the show in a myriad of places like iTunes, YouTube, SoundCloud, TuneIn, Stitcher, Podomatic, Mixcloud, Spreaker, Player FM, Ameristream. And go into iTunes, rate and comment on the show. That helps us be found by more people so we don't languish in obscurity like Will Arnett was talking about at the beginning of the show. And then you can also share this show through Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're on Yelp, Tumblr, and then there's the Amazon. If you're going to buy anything on Amazon, go through that link there at mikesdailypodcast.com first, and that helps us out. There's the blog, the Daily Podcast picture. All my past interviews, too, are at mikesdailypodcast.com. And speaking of interviews, it's Sam Cohen.
Into an interview.
Hello.
Sam Cohen!
What's happening?
I'm going to be, whenever you're walking down the street and you want to introduce yourself to someone, I'll jump out and go, Sam Cohen!
Would you? That's awesome. Or maybe you could do that for me just when we're differentiating whether I'm Sam Cohen the dude or Sam Cohen the recording artist. You could say it for me in the latter context.
Sam Cohen, the recording artist.
Yeah, that's so I could be like, hi, yeah, Sam Cohen. It's I mailed it about 2 weeks ago, whatever. Or it could be like Sam Cohen, and yeah, so I just did a session of that stuff.
Yeah,
it'll help people, I think.
I will be there to identify you.
Thank you.
I will be. Wow, I almost sound like I'm a butler now. Then, and now it's Sir Sam Cohen, the recording artist. I could do that. It's
Do you buttle? Do you have experience buttling?
I guess I have a dog, so I kind of am a butler to my dog.
I hear that. I have a dog too.
You got to kind of, follow them while they're walking and pick up things that they drop, if you're a responsible dog owner.
Yeah, definitely. It would be like more undignifying to do that for a human than for a dog, for sure. You'd have a job if a human were your dog or master.
But you have a great job, Sam Cohen, because you are a singer-songwriter, multi-instrumentalist. You've got a new album called Cool It, and you play like all the instruments on it. Yeah, almost all the instruments. There's a couple of songs that have my Yellowbirds bandmates on them, but for the most part, yes, that's true. And it is a good job. I like it a lot. And you were with the Yellowbirds and also Apollo Sunshine. Correct. And how did all being with them influence your album Cool It? Well, I mean, that's all just sort of part of my upbringing. That's like my musical, especially Apollo Sunshine was kind of like formative years I'd started playing about 10 years before we started doing that, but, it's like putting my music really out there. That was sort of my first experience with that. We toured a lot. We didn't have apartments for a while because we were touring so much, and, that shaped kind of what I wanted to do with a live band, learn how much we could do with a live band because we got so close. And then Yellowbirds was sort of when I stepped aside from a really like democratic kind of group and started making my own stuff. And that eventually formed into a band that was also a really tight group of friends and had a great chemistry. And now this is sort of just streamlining things more because, everyone I know now, a lot of people have dropped off from being musicians, and the people that are still doing it now are all really busy, my friends and the people I want to play with. And I'm a dad and a producer and a dog owner, and everyone I work with has a long list of demands and obligations. So it was it's a way to just do my thing without compromising and balance it with, having a life. What got you started into playing music in the first place? Well, some friends of mine on the schoolyard in 6th grade said, let's start a band. And we were all super into Guns N' Roses, and so that sort of just became the de facto template. Everyone pretty much picked a member of Guns N' Roses that they were going to emulate, and I picked Slash. And my parents, who were super supportive and encouraging, got me a guitar, I think, that weekend. Wow. And, I got a great teacher who was also really supportive and encouraging, and I just knew right away that was what I was going to keep doing. Did you then... Like day one. Did you then pierce your nose and make your hair curly and wear funny hats? Well, my hair is kind of curly, but I actually did pierce my ear one day while my mom was at work. I pulled one of her dangly earrings through my ear. That was how I pierced it. What? Yeah. And it got kind of infected in a big swollen thing, and I never even wore an earring through the hole because my mom was like, what? No.
can't stand. So yeah, that was that. And then later, like when I was 17, I pierced my nose when I got to go to Boston for like a summer music program, and was like, you know, like off my leash for the first time.
Rockstar.
But then I also let that close again when I went back home.
Oh.
Yeah. I guess I was pretty over trying to be Slash at that point, but...
Ow. You've got some rock star scars.
I don't think there's a visible scar.
No.
I never noticed it.
Have you ever met Slash?
No, I'd love to meet Slash. Have you met Slash?
No. I haven't.
Oh.
I guess we're... Maybe... I think you're closer to meeting him than me.
Anything's possible.
Well, I want to play the song Let the Mountain Come from your album Cool It, which comes out April 28th on Easy Sound Records. And this starts off with these really lush, crazy synths. And then you got this cool groove going on. How did this song come about?
Let's see. I wrote the lyrics on tour, and I kind of had the chords of the intro tossing around a little bit for a while. And I think I was touring opening for Guster solo. And I had lots of free time while they sound checked and things like that. I think I wrote this on the back of their bus.
Really? How are they? And I've never met them either. What are they like?
Best dudes in the world.
Really?
Really sweet guys, yeah. That was so much fun. It was great because I was touring solo, and, they invited me to come with them, and I just flew down to New Orleans and then hopped on their bus and did the whole tour just riding with them. So I had a bunk. I never needed a hotel room. I never had to drive anywhere. I just needed one guitar. My friend Luke Reynolds plays in the band, so he accompanied me, and we did like a duo thing. That was like the cushiest tour ever, and they were so much fun to hang out with.
Oh, that sounds like a great show to see you and Guster. And you wrote this song on Guster's bus.
Yeah.
Or wait, sound checking. Well, you were somewhere.
No. I was hanging out on the bus while they sound checked, because that would be like 2 or 3 hours in the middle of the afternoon, and I had very, very little to do to prepare for my set.
So then, Let the Mountain Come.
Let the mountain come to you.
Come to you.
Even better type.
Yeah, if you add the prepositional phrase to you, then that makes it even better. There's no parentheses involved. That's the entire... Don't you love song titles that have parentheses in it?
I kind of do. I've never had one.
I don't know what it is. It's like, is it the afterthought or something? It's like, oh, we want to call the song this, but the song doesn't sound right calling it this, so we'll just put the rest of it in parentheses.
Mm-hmm.
It's something.
That's how they do it with song titles. If it's album titles or some movie titles, they'll do this title or that title. I really do like that.
Yeah.
Like The Enigma of Caspar Hausen, or Every Man for Himself and God Against All. That I love that kind of title.
And then the book titles, you have, Raising Kids, and then in small letters, or Everything You Ever Wanted to Know About How Not to Pull Your Hair Out and Cause Yourself a Midlife Crisis, blah, blah, blah. There's like a...
That's more common now with books than a short title. It seems like a colon and a bunch of words.
So Let the Mountain Come to You from the album called Cool It. That's a short title for an album.
It is.
What,
I like to keep it snappy.
What was the inspiration for the name of the album?
I don't know. I didn't overthink that one. My wife suggested it. I was like, yeah, that's awesome.
Excellent. Well, this is a great song. Let's play it now. From the album Cool It, coming out April 28th, Sam Cohen, Let the Mountain Come to You on Mike's Daily Podcast. Sam Cohen as we go outside of Cafe Anyway here at the last place on earth located somewhere in Podcaster Valley. Tomorrow, part 2 of my Into an Interview with Sam Cohen. Flaxseed.
And here's today's podcast picture.
And the pictures of Sam playing some kind of instrument of some kind. I don't know what it is. I'm not really a musician. I don't know what it is. But anyway, he's you can see him and his amazing hair there at mikesdailypodcast.com. Mike, that's great. I bet he talks to his wife when they're having dinner. Yeah. I hear that you guys were going to go to Olive Garden and the Disgruntled Fiddle Player was going to talk to you.
Yeah, well, we went there and realized that was a bad place to go to dinner.
Yeah, Mike, they have awful food. Well, that's what I've been trying to tell you, guys. And that tomato root beer is a horrible idea, Brewmaster.
What? Oh, no. Now I see the error of my ways. Oh, boy.
Yeah, I'm just here to give you guys all feedback.
Mark, this show is kind of long today. You need to end it here.
What? How dare you? Next show, we're going to bring you part 2 of my Into an Interview with Sam Cohen. Plus, we will hear from Madame Rutabaga Valentino and Bison Bentley Flaxseed.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!